All right. Okay, so, all right, good evening. This afternoon we have Jay. Oh, by the way, this is the Kevin Hume show. Your host, Kevin Hume.
Oh yeah, hello.
All right, so we want to welcome our guest, and this is going to be a conversation which we're going to cover like more than one things. All right, um, Jay is going to tell us about himself, what he do, and can you pronounce your last name for me?
Critchley.
Chris
Critchley.
Critchley.
Yeah,
Oh, so it's Jay Critchley.
yeah.
All right, I'm Kevin Hume. Is Jay Critchley. I am an African guy with a Irish name. All right. So the day when I'm being interviewed, we'll explain that. So tell us about your family name a little bit before.
Well,
I kind of never heard that one before. So
Well,
that's
Critchley is actually an English-Irish name. So I'm mostly Irish.
oh,
My mother's parents are both from Ireland, Limavady and Limerick. And my father has been in this country for a lot longer than my mother, but his family is also Irish. So I'm pretty much Irish.
okay, cool. So all right. So just a contrast. So I got an Irish name, but I'm African. You got a Irish. You're English with an Irish name.
Well,
you're-
I'm a white boy with an Irish name.
all right, all right, all right. So nice way. So now that we get that out of the way, that fancy name you have. So could you tell us like where you were born and like how was life during that time? I don't want to age you, so if you want to tell them what year you were born,
I
that's
think it's
totally up to you.
I think it's obvious. I'm from a family in Forestville, Connecticut, which is no one's heard of, but I love the name Forestville, which is kind of between Hartford and Waterbury. And I'm from a large Irish Catholic American family, 8 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were busy.
Yeah, they were busy. And we're all very close together, like the first 6 of us are like almost 11 months apart.
Wow.
Yeah, they were doing it. But my sister Jerry and I are actually Irish twins. Now,
What's an Irish twin?
an Irish twin is that if 2 siblings are born in the same calendar year.
Oh.
So I was born in January, my sister was born in December.
Ah.
So
Yeah, that's
we're
very
Irish
interesting.
twins.
Oh, same here. Couple months apart, but in the same year. That's Irish twin.
Yeah.
Learn something new.
So anyway, that's a nice little tidbit of information. But I was raised in a very strict religious family.
Yeah.
Went to primarily Catholic schools. I was an altar boy. I used to wash the priest's feet at Holy Thursday with the incense and the candles. And that's actually, I think, where I get a lot of my ideas about my performance and ceremonies that I do.
Yeah.
I think being with the priests and particularly during the Easter week.
Right.
I was just a regular guy in high school.
Mm-hmm.
I went to
which school? Yeah.
I went to St. Anthony High School in Bristol, Connecticut. It was primarily an Italian Catholic high school, but it was the only Catholic high school in the city. Mm-hmm. So of course, I went there.
Oh, so because your parents were Catholic, you automatically goes to that kind of school. That's how it goes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So most of the students there were Italian, and it was a small school and a great experience. I mean, I got to sing in 2 musicals.
So you were a singer?
Yeah, I'm a singer. My family sang barbershop music.
Okay. What's barbershop music?
4-part harmony. No instrumental.
Mm-hmm.
Just 4-part harmony.
Yeah.
And a cappella.
Oh.
So my 5 sisters and I were the Critchley Sextet. Now, don't get thrown away by the
Um,
word sex.
You know what?
There were 6 of us.
But that did you guys were you get famous? Were you famous from that group?
Not famous enough.
Because the name alone is hard to call. Sisters. I mean, no.
There's no offense,
Oh,
right?
no offense. That's the name to call it.
The Critchley Sextet.
Okay.
And I was the only boy. The 5 sisters and I was surrounded by my oldest sisters were surrounded. I was in the middle of them, so I was the oldest boy. And so we performed on the Ted Mack Original Amateur Hour twice. Now I don't know if you're
No idea.
that ages me as well.
That was like American Idol?
Yeah, it was like American Idol.
Oh, okay, that was in the 70s?
In the 20s and 30s.
Oh, my.
No, I'm joking. So we went down to New York City and recorded in a live show, singing. Actually, we sang a medley of older songs, and then we won, and then we came back the second time, and we sang Sugar Time, which you may remember. I don't know if anyone knows that song. Sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Yeah. Be my little sugar. Anyway. So we used to sing around the state. We started singing in a St. Patrick's Day show at St. Matthew's Church, our church in Forestville. And then we just started singing around the state. People hired us. We kind of were on the couple of other shows. Arthur Godfrey show.
Yeah, I know. I heard that.
And but it was never. We never took ourselves seriously. It was never like, we're going to make this. Right? We just loved to sing.
Okay.
Praying and singing.
Right.
If we weren't praying, we were singing.
Oh. So you were doing art at that time? Any form of art at that time?
That's a good question. I was always the artist in the family. I spent months making Christmas presents. Homemade Christmas presents for everyone in the family and my aunts and uncles. And I also spent months making my Halloween costume.
Like way before Halloween?
Yeah.
Before the day?
Oh, yeah. I planned, months. Like the one year I remember I was a cigarette box, a Winston cigarette box. So I had a flap that lifted up and everything, and I had the whole Winston thing on the box.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
And another year I was Zorro.
Yeah.
And I actually made a hat, a black hat. And, back then there were no costumes. You had to make everything from scratch. That was it.
It was the hands-on time.
Before this consumption has taken over our lives.
Right. So then you spend what time did you move out of that environment and decide to move to a different?
As fast as I could.
So did you came straight to Massachusetts?
No, I went to college, Fairfield University in Connecticut, Southern Connecticut. It was an all Jesuit, all male Catholic college when I went there. Now it's co-ed, but at the time, and then I started changing. I stopped going to church. I became a hippie. I started smoking pot, and I was barely getting through, school with my grades.
All right, hold it. Yeah, let's get that. Good. All right, cool.
Yeah. I was like a C student.
C.
I was barely passing. But I was like changing and getting in touch with all other parts of myself. So that was a great experience.
All right. So after college, you leave Connecticut, or you stays there? Or?
I left Connecticut. I actually I had a work study opportunity in London.
Oh, London.
So I took a boat with all college students to London, and
Took a boat.
yeah, a whole boat. It was like a cruise boat.
Oh, okay. So what about planes?
No, it was a boat. So you don't like boats?
Yeah, I'm all right with boat, but that must be a long ass trip, man.
It was.
You know what I mean?
But that was what was incredible about the trip, is that it was mostly college students, and so
Right.
there were all these things going on that I had no idea about. Political thing, women's liberation, gay liberation, political stuff. All these people were all on this boat, so there were these like yoga. I mean, who heard of yoga back then?
Right.
So I learned a lot on the 8 days or whatever of the trip.
Oh. So it took you 8 days to get to London?
Something like that.
All right. So you went to London, and I guess when you go there, you experience in different countries.
Oh,
totally
that blew me
different
away being in London.
from what you see here.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was just a white bread college kid, going to London. I was in the East End of London at, get this, the Salvation Army.
Oh.
I worked at this
Salvation.
the Booth House. John Booth founded the Salvation Army, and this was called Booth House. It was a dormitory for
John Booth was.
Well, John Booth also killed.
That's why I'm like, is this the same John?
Well, I'm not sure.
All right, let's leave up that for the research.
Anyway, this was a residential facility in the East End of London. Now, the East End of London in the 60s and 70s was like danger zone, okay? Right. And I was plopped in the middle of this, in this dormitory with all these ex-cons working in the kitchen. It happened to be the year, and I'm giving my age away, it was the year that we landed on the moon, 1969.
Oh.
So I was the American in the room when watching in the kitchen, in the dining room of the Booth House, when we landed on the moon.
Wow. So what was that feeling to be like the American there that landed on the moon? And was it like one of them? I'm trying to think of one of the moments where people were like proud of more than anything.
You remember the day, the time of the year, the weather. Well, I was in shock being there anyway. So, no, everyone was thrilled. I mean, the whole world was, everyone was watching that. But I have to say that the English workers there, they gave me a hard time. You know what I mean? They were like pushing me, like American, giving me, teasing me a lot.
Right.
But I ended up going to one of the football games. That was like incredible, and going out into the thrift stores and out in the East London, which, like I said, was it was like.
All right. So let's come more closer to this time, because I know you well, we are the interview is being done in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and Cape Cod, and I know Jay from this era as an artist and activist, a guy who is into all kind of stuff. So I wanted to interview him because I saw him doing these things and feel like they were interested enough to hear his story. So tell us about your artwork, that because I noticed, I remember the first time I met you, you make we in Jamaica we call it, it's called a latrine. Remember that? That's when I first met you.
The latrine.
The latrine. So I speak the Jamaican language, so we say a latrine or a shit house.
There you go.
All right. So
that's a good way to introduce me.
So that's how I know this guy. I was asked to help to bring this thing, this shit house, to his house. from one place. The thing was heavy as hell. But that's how I first met, you, and I realized you were artists then. And I am of the creative mind also. So I'm like, this is somebody I'd like to know one day. And here we are. So tell us about.
Well, that was actually probably a good topic to bring up because I use this latrine, this outhouse,
Mhm.
as a traveling stage and as a performance sculpture. So I think when I met you, I was bringing it to the Provincetown Art Association
Yes,
Museum
yes.
for part of my exhibition,
Yes.
their survey of my work, and then at the end of it, bringing it back.
Yes.
I've been collecting outhouses. In fact, if there's anyone out there who has an outhouse,
You're doing what?
I collect outhouses, latrines.
You mean the actual thing that all right. It's still rolling.
I have another one. This was a single one. Now I've turned them into sculptures and galleries and stuff. I mean, they're not used as outhouses,
Yeah,
but it's about the whole concept of composting and about the environment and how we need to think about how we treat our wastes and our garbage. So this is a sort of an old time way. And of course, in the world, believe it or not, like 2 billion people do not have access to toilets or to any kind of sanitary facilities.
that is true.
So it's
unfortunately that it is. That is true.
so it's a global. It relates to a global issue. And so the outhouse. So I have this single outhouse, which is a province hub, but then I found one in Wellfleet, a 2-seater,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like they were like tearing it down. So I salvaged it and brought it back here and had it rebuilt. And it's sitting in my yard as a little gallery in my backyard.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then related to that is my septic theater.
Oh.
Do you know about my septic theater?
Yeah.
So I rediscovered my abandoned cesspool in my backyard after I put in a Title V in the backyard. And so this was just this empty beehive-shaped, circular, a beautiful Provincetown structure in the ground. And I rediscovered it when it was all dried out, and it changed my life because I opened up a whole universe of ideas and space and thought and concept about what could be done in this space and what it symbolized. So I had opera performances in there. I had.
You mean like people go?
Yeah, in and out. The stage was above ground and below ground.
Okay.
And I had opera and poetry and drag and installations and artist talks and on this stage with the septic theater, theater in the ground in my backyard.
Okay.
And I made a movie in there too, actually.
Oh yeah, you told me you make a movie. So so it's a good way to segue there. So this movie was about what?
Well, it was called Toilet Treatments. And
Okay.
it was a story of a woman who comes to town to find public and private bathrooms to put video screens in for how-to videos. Like while you're sitting on the can, you can watch like how to learn a German folk song or how to do aerobics.
Okay.
And so she was here to create this business.
Right.
And then she ends up falling in love with this Latino guy who's the plumber.
Yeah.
And so there's a scene inside the septic tank where they make love inside the septic tank.
Oh.
So anyway, Katrina ends up leaving Provincetown and moving to Texas. It's a kind of it's a comedy, okay?
Okay.
But it's shot in Provincetown, and this was shot in.
So where can people see this movie? Is it out there?
No, it's not. It's still it's not really available. I haven't put it up on a service yet.
Okay.
I'm hoping to have a screening of it soon, like a public screening of it. But it did win an HBO award at the film festival
HBO.
in 2002.
Nice. That's very good. I applaud you for that. HBO award. So you also involved in the Swim for Life. What's that all about?
Swim for Life. Yes, I was co-founder of the Swim for Life in 1988.
It's been a while.
This is the 35th. Next year's the 36th. No, wait a minute. 36, that's right. The 36th year next year, Swim for Life.
Wow.
And we raise money for AIDS and women's health in the community. There's 11 nonprofits that we distribute money to, mostly AIDS support group, helping our women and Outer Cape Health. And we've raised close to $6 million in 35 years.
Wow, that's great. Man. And there's like other people who, it's not just you alone, obviously. So you got like a whole.
Oh, there's like, well, we have hundreds of swimmers and, up to 100 volunteers, and kayakers and people in the community. My board of the Provincetown Community Compact, which is the organization that sponsors the swim. We work all year. We just had a board meeting this morning, and we're already planning for next year in September 9th. Is the 36th swim.
Wow. So it is fair to say that the Swim for Life has contribute to the betterment of a lot of
excuse me,
life and just the whole fact that people can benefit from it without any just knowing that somebody, whatever problems you have, you could benefit it.
Yeah, right. Well, I think. Yeah, I mean, it financially helps the organizations and also the economy of the town. I mean, you get hundreds of people, excuse me, coming into town, bringing a lot of pledge money with them, as well as staying several days a week here. So it's a real, injection into the economy. But also, I think at the heart of it, it's a meeting of people coming together in a community and creating this energy that people, a lot of people have a very emotional and even spiritual connection to Provincetown. And so they come from all over the country for the Swim for Life. They spent time here and they want to come back. They have reunions with their families and friends. So it becomes a real like
a mecca.
Yeah, it becomes like a destination.
For that. And so apart from all that, so you have the Swim for Life. You have the art going on. What else you're like into that we haven't covered here? Like,
oh, you think there's more?
Yeah, I mean, maybe that.
Well, my art really is about engaging with the public, and it's it's about activism and.
So you take it outside of Massachusetts, or it's mainly in this?
Well, here, yes. In fact, next week I'm going to Ireland. I'm speaking at a conference in Dublin about. This conference is about agriculture and sustainability. And so they invited me to speak as an artist because I have a couple of projects I'm nudging along in Ireland. Because I had a residency there last fall, an artist residency. So, so next week, the next couple of weeks, I'll be, working on this project and talking at this conference and learning more about the agriculture of Ireland.
Oh, very interesting. So, there's a lot more we could cover because Jay have been around as long as
as the compost.
Let me get serious. As long as the compost. So, with that said, we want to wrap it up, and I mean, we will talk again another time. About whatever. Next time we talk, it might be about whatever project is doing at the moment, rather than a whole, spectrum of your life and all of that.
Certainly. Yes.
So because I know, I mean, the stuff that you say you're involved in, I'm happy to come and, broadcast it, talk about it at that time that it's going on, to see
Okay.
what we could, show people going on. So,
Well, thank you for the opportunity. It's great to.
yeah, I mean, I am humbled, man. As I said, I met you in a very, but
Compromising situation.
because I was like, what the hell is this? But it's all right. It's all right. No, I know what it was all about. I mean, it took me a while to figure it out, but hey. So it was nice having you here, man.
It's a pleasure. Yes.
Man.
Be well.
Come back, all right?
Okay.
Good. All right. I hope this